Hey everyone, M1 Shadow here. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the Second Amendment and gun permits and my thoughts on if you should require a permit to carry a firearm. The reason why I'm talking about this is because, as some of you know, some states, like I believe it's Vermont, do not require a permit to carry a firearm. Where there's other states, actually I think the majority of them do require you to carry a concealed carry permit or some sort of permit to carry a firearm. And basically I'm going to discuss my thoughts on this. I'm also going to basically go over some rebuttals of people who disagree with me on my stance. And on top of that, I'm also going to tell you what I think you could do if you agree with me on this. I do want to start off by saying in no way is this legal advice. Not at all. This is just me giving my thoughts and opinions on the matter. But when it comes down to a permit for a firearm, for someone to carry a pistol, I do not think anybody should require a permit to carry a firearm. And here's the reason why. Number one, the Second Amendment clearly states you have a right to bear arms. So I do not think that anybody should have to jump through hoops and get permission for something you already have a right to. And I'm not only talking about the Second Amendment, I'm also talking about your rights as a living being that has the right to defend yourselves. I do not think that you should have to require permission to go ahead and defend yourself. Some people who disagree with me on this subject, they like to say that people should require permits. That way it keeps the hands out of the, or keeps the guns out of the hands of criminals. I'm sorry, but just that's just totally dumb. I'm sorry, but that's, anybody with just a little bit of common sense knows that a criminal could get a firearm if they want, and criminals don't obey the law. So if a law requires a citizen to carry a firearm, they don't care anyway. That's the first thing. Some people also like to say that it's good because you get the training, that if you get a pistol permit that you have to go through training. I started shooting firearms when I was like 8 years old, and I learned safety. Safety was the first thing that I was taught from my grandfathers and uncles that have taught me. And that's the way it goes for the majority of people. They learn all the safety they need if they start off young. So safety is something that is common sense, and it is something that I do not think should be mandated. I think it's something that is your responsibility to learn. And if you don't have anybody to teach you the the fundamentals of safety, then at that point, yes, of course, you should have the option, and there will always be trainers out there for a fee that would train you. But again, it's not something that should be mandated to you. So I'm sure there's people that agree with me on this subject, a lot of people, I would think, who probably say, okay, what do I do about it? Well, I would think the first thing you would want to do is go ahead and get in contact with your local reps, maybe local senators, write to them, call them, do whatever you have to do, maybe even get a petition or something, and start off that way, stating that you do not feel that you should have to get permission for something that is your right. A lot of people like to go on social media and post memes and things that say, this is my right, I should not require blah blah blah. The whole thing is while that is good for pissing anti-gun people off, which I admit I do that myself, it is fun to piss them off, but when it comes down to it, if you really want to make yourself heard, you got to contact the appropriate people for that. As always, I do want to thank you all for watching, and have a good one.